I expressed in another video how I really didn't have a lot of interest in making a dedicated video to the Amber Guyger Jean situation. But, the sentence came down and everybody's like completely losing their shit. So I figure now is as good a time as any to, give a few thoughts on it and really ponder the question. It's a blonde, tiny white woman. What were you expecting? Did you think they were gonna throw her under the bus like a redhead or a brunette? No, no, not at all. So this is coming to us from CNN, the pinnacle of of unbiased journalism. Amber Guyger gets 10-year murder sentence for fatally shooting Botham Jean. This is written by Elliot McLaughlin and Steve Almasi. Amber Guyger, the former Dallas police officer who killed Botham Jean in his apartment last year, is heading to prison to begin a 10-year sentence. She will first be eligible for parole in 5 years. And because she got what is a this is a 35%er's sentence all day. This is the definition of the 35%. If you ever watch my videos regularly, you know that I give 35% leniency to females that I find attractive. Reason being is because it's innate. It's a biological reflex that I, for one, tend to acknowledge, as opposed to most people who are like, oh no, everybody's just equal. Like, no, we don't play those games over here. Of course, that's inadequate. The entire justice system is inadequate, and the work must continue. S. Lee Merritt, an attorney who represents Jean's family, wrote on Twitter. Let me tell you something. They could have given her the death penalty, and there would have been a lot of people who said it was inadequate. So, really, nah. Deal is that this jury and this judge, I'm not familiar with the particulars of the Texas criminal system, so I'm not sure which entity decided the sentence. But if you've seen any of the content or the courtroom pictures coming out from in that courtroom, yeah, they were always gonna take it easy on her. Like when she got called guilty, the bailiff was brushing her hair, literally brushing her hair as she was given her verdict. And then reportedly the judge gave her a Bible and a hug and was like, baby, it's gonna be okay. And Botham's own brother came out and gave her a hug and was like, yo, it's all good, I forgive you. Not much different than the whole Charleston thing, which is something that we as a nation look to prop up, is the forgiveness in this fight, because no matter what, Botham Jean doesn't come back. If they gave her the death penalty or anything else like that, it doesn't bring him back. We can only really try and move forward. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who really feel like everything, really really like live and die at the altar of equality. And so they're like, oh, well, she shouldn't have gotten such a lenient sentence and everything else like that. For me, it's not for me to judge. Ultimately, the courts, they decided they at least got her guilty, right? They at least called her guilty. They at least convicted her, which a lot of people were convinced she wasn't going to be. So, baby steps. She's going to prison. It may not be for as long as you want, but let's be real, a lot of people don't go to prison at all. People commit crimes every day and don't go to jail. The reason behind this getting so much media attention as it has is because of the racial components and the racial elements. And the fact that, being a blonde woman didn't quite work for her. But I can guarantee you, if she was a brunette, 30 to life, man. She would have gotten 30 to life if she was a brunette. I promise you. That's the thing about this country. This country does have a thing for blonde women, like petite blonde. Because I don't even think she's all that, like, in the face pretty at all. But the frame and the hairstyle, work with what you got, right? Dallas District Attorney John Croza said that his office is very pleased with the verdict and sentence. When asked if his office was concerned about the 10-year sentence, Crozat said that he expected a long, though he Okay, wow, CNN. Sure, seriously, copy editor. Though he personally expected a longer sentence, he respected the jury's decision. We're going to move on, and Botham's family is moving on, he said, as the brother demonstrated via the hug. The final day of the murder trial included a stunning moment in which Jean's younger brother, Brant, told Guyger during his victim impact statement that he forgave her, and he gave her a long hug, before she was taken to prison. Oh yeah, this smell, Lord. Well, I'm thinking about Uncle Ruckus right now. There's an episode of the Boondocks when Uncle Ruckus, he's a character on the show that is like, just way beyond the stereotypical self-loathing black person, right? He's talking about having that white fever. And it smells so good and all this other stuff. Lord. He said something about the white woman hot show is big, something like that. It's really, really funny. Just after that, District Judge Tammy Kemp apparently gave Guyger a Bible and also hugged her. You can have mine. I have 3 or 4 more at home, the judge said. This is the one I use every day. This is your job for the next month. It says right here, John 3:16, and this is where you start. For God so loved the world. John 3:16. Well, let me tell you something about Stone Cold 3:16. Sorry. Every 3:16, it automatically takes me back to Stone Cold Steve Austin. John's mother, Allison, cool, didn't react to the sentence, other than to tell reporters outside the courtroom the 10 years will give Guyger time to reflect and to change her life. Jurors on Tuesday had found Guyger, 31, guilty of murder for fatally shooting Jean in his Dallas apartment in 2018. She had faced between 5 years and 99 years for the shooting, and they gave her the 5. Allison Jean told reporters that the trial exposed corruption in the city's police department. Allison Jean said the crime scene was contaminated. Well, who is mom, who's not an investigator? Okay. The city of Dallas needs to clean up inside. The Dallas Police Department has a lot of laundry to do, she said. As for the sentence, she said Guyger needs to reflect and change her life. She said the former officer was either trained poorly or applied her training incorrectly. That should have never, ever happened again. She said, if Amber Guyger was trained not to shoot in the heart, my son would be standing here today. If she didn't that's what I find very strange, is that there's so many variables involved in all of these types of stories that it's, I think, disingenuous to say, oh, well, if she hadn't been trained to shoot in her, if the door wasn't open, if she was never in his apartment in the first place, he'd still be standing here. I mean, there's a lot of circumstances that could have changed what happened to your son. And trust me, my heart goes out to her. But, when it comes to police and police training, I find it very odd when people who haven't had the training, when people who aren't, versed in the law and, or have say any kind of experience trying to police any type of area or space, that when they have all these opinions about training that they honestly in many cases can't comprehend. You're from the outside looking in. Police Chief Renee Hall, who was not asked about Jean's statements, said at her own news conference that the department will launch an internal investigation over police actions described by witnesses during the trial. The testimony that came out in this trial is not reflective of the men and women of the Dallas Police Department, she said. Hall said, I stand before you today fully committed to making the changes that need to be made. 5 hours after Guyger was sentenced, a small group of protesters were marching in the streets of Dallas, according to aerial images broadcast by CNN affiliate KTVT. The demonstrators were upset by a sentence they saw as too light. Of course they would, because they have, that's the thing. It doesn't bring the man back. When it comes to the protesting and the crying, I saw this one elected official who's talking, it's so hard being a black man in America. Okay, first and foremost, pump your brakes, because I don't know the lineage of anybody involved. Botham Jean, My man looks very, very Haitian. Okay, I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, he was a descendant. This is definitely. I don't know, like the judge. I think her last name's Kemp, but once again, I couldn't tell you. That might be from marriage. I couldn't tell you this woman's lineage or makeup or anything else like that. So to sit here and be like, oh my goodness, more white supremacy is very, very ridiculous. Okay, she was an attractive female. Like Centoya Brown is neither blonde nor white, but yo, she got off with murder. I was about to say murder, but she got off with murder. So yeah, like it is what it is. You want better, you want different, then go for these positions. Okay, you really want to judge people, then go and be a judge. But if not, your random opinion honestly shouldn't and really doesn't carry the weight that you think it does. Neither does mine. Trust me. I'm well aware. I'm very self-aware in this situation. Wednesday's sentencing hearing began with testimony from Gene's close friend, who shared a story of his love for sports and God, which has nothing to do with his murder. She wept over a text message she never sent to him. Alex Stossel met Gene her junior year. Okay, who gives a shit? I'm sorry, but who cares? Like, okay, yeah, Gene, like, okay. This is part of the reason why I didn't want to get in. Oh wow, that's a whole lot. I ain't reading all that shit. Here's the deal. That is a big part of the reason why I didn't want to get into this story, because they're trying to make it a character thing when it's an action thing. You know, like the man's dead. Rest in peace, brother. Seriously, best to you. But same time, you have this lady who, you know, like, we're not going to capital punish a blonde white woman, and she's a blonde white woman. It is what it is. Deal with it. No, we're not all equals. Why do you think they all running around here right now? What? I did the Remy Ma video where she has a blonde wig on her head. Why? Because yeah, that's a very real thing that no one wants to talk about. Like how much like lighter and easier we are on our females as opposed to our, because if it was a blonde dude that did it, no one would care. Death penalty. That there you go, my friend. So you guys are kind of just like pointing out something that men's rights activists have been crying about for years. How, yeah, we are far more lenient on females. It's just that now you get an opportunity to mix race into it. So you're really jumping all over it. That's it. That's really it. But yeah, for everybody trying to give this the same kind of status and same kind of like, boost as OJ, nah, fam. It is what it is. All right. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, which, a lot of people may. Go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute and the like, they don't like me like that. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Like, am I wrong for, hey, look, a life is a life. If that life was black, brown, green, blue, purple, white, it does not matter to me. Can you dig it? Like, he should still be alive. I will agree with that. But when it comes down to the sentencing, and it comes down to the courts, and it comes down to, you got all these people that's just sitting there crying about, oh, yeah, like, they're mammy-ing her. I've never seen a judge hug a murderer of court, but have you seen every single situation? No, I'm pretty sure you haven't, because, trust me, our judicial system is popping every single day of the week, and it gets very strange. But I feel like it's very disingenuous to try and pretend as if, yeah, this isn't something that you couldn't have seen coming, because all the evidence has been out there before us. And honestly, just be grateful you got the conviction, and, baby steps by baby steps. I mean, Casey Anthony's out there talking about having another kid. So yeah, where's the outrage behind that? Of course not, because it's just the media allowing us, giving us telling you, oh yeah, you can definitely be angry about this. Oh man, and it's just building up all off of emotion. And in reality, this does nothing to help anybody, at least from my opinion, right? This does absolutely nothing to help anyone. He's still gone. She's going to jail. It may not be for as long as you want, but guess what? In that 5 years, by the time she gets out, no one's gonna care. So, if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And until the next one.